Hello. It's such a nice day today.
Should we start whispering again?
Yes, I think we should.
Now, Kelly watched Paris Hilton.
I did. I watched Paris Hilton do...
You said you had 1 million views.
She did, if not more.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to go on and,
and
check that out.
But I actually was like, I hate this stuff. It bothered me, but Paris Hilton made
but
me
you
like
said
it.
Right, but you said she did it more sexy.
She did. Well, yeah, because she goes, it's hot.
It's hot.
Wait, what did she say? That's hot.
Oh, that's hot.
That's hot.
That's hot.
That's the way she says it.
Yeah, well, Paris. Yeah.
Because, I got to do my own thing.
Right.
So,
But,
yeah.
So she was good to watch.
She was great.
How long was it?
I didn't watch exactly the whole thing because I want to say maybe it was about an hour.
But oh my God, she did it for an hour?
Yeah, but the way she did it all, it was funny and it was...
I'm going to have to watch it.
It was good.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to watch it.
She was laughing at herself. She had 2 microphones, so
she
sounded
silly.
one thing on this side and, another way, and she was just having like a good old time. Like we do. We have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to pull up Paris's...
You do.
What was the name of it?
ASMR.
Yeah.
Is it?
ASMR.
Yeah. And you know what? Probably because
Does she have a couple of videos or just one?
Well, I think because we talk about it, it like popped up on my phone. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, this phone thing's getting weird. Like that ballsy thing,
The
I think.
balls wash?
The balls wash. It says that it's sponsored.
Hey, did you guys ever buy any? Or would anyone
Who's using the ball wash?
admit to get ballsy ball wash?
Yeah, I know.
I want to know
a couple of people
I
that
know
did
what the
actually buy
bottle
it.
smells like.
Yeah, we want to know what it smells like. Yeah, so let us know if that's any good.
Yeah.
If your balls are fresher.
Beautiful day.
Well, the sun's out.
Yeah. I'm actually liking this December.
Yeah. No, it's been nice. I mean, it's in the 30s and 40s, so yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got my cousin Eddie Merry
gotta show
Christmas
this
shirt
off.
on. Woo. Yeah, the shitter's full. Here he is, right here. And so this is what I wear every Christmas.
Yeah. Well, my backyard shitter's full.
Yeah. Oh my God. With
3
those
big dogs.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I need to wear that while I'm cleaning up my backyard.
Yeah. So, yeah, the shitter's definitely full over at your house. Yeah.
The old garbage
With the
can.
Great Dane. How big is a Great Dane poop? How big is that?
Seriously, like, all right, like that, at least.
That's one poop.
It's like, goes, a lot.
It's a mounded big
Yeah,
poop.
it's a mound of poop.
Did you think about all this
No.
before you got these big dogs?
No,
All that poop?
No, that happens when you're like, oh yeah, I'll just get a Great Dane because he's so cute as a puppy. And then he's seriously like looks like a baby deer.
Oh,
He does.
He's cute.
He is.
Yeah.
Monty gives hugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of touch on a couple of things before we go into the Christmas season. And we're not going to be doing our little live broadcast on Christmas Eve because we're going to be with our families.
Yes.
But I think next Thursday seemed like that was going to, but we'll keep you guys posted. So, but yeah, everybody wants to be with their families. So nobody, or if you're not with your family, I mean, hopefully you're going to see a good movie. I'm going to see The Mule with Clint Eastwood actually on Wednesday. Good. And I love Clint Eastwood. And I almost feel like the older he gets, the better he gets to be in his acting. Okay. I don't know. So anyways, it was based on a true story. And
I don't know what to do with my ball here.
yeah, well, figure out the
Can't see
ball.
my ball.
Anyway, so I'm going to go see that on Wednesday. So I'll keep everybody posted on The Mule. And then Aquaman, I mean, he is just so unbelievably gorgeous. I mean, isn't everybody, even men? Aren't you guys going? Aren't you guys all going to go see Aquaman just because he's so hot? All of you men too.
This conversation is going shitty. That was when we're talking shitty.
Yeah.
From the
Aquaman, I can't wait to see that man in action.
Well, I don't even know. I haven't seen it.
Well, and actually the story, of course, looks fantastic. But, I mean, he is just, he's just gorgeous.
Is it PG-13 or what?
I don't know.
Can I take my kids to it?
Oh, yeah, it's like a Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, Deadpool, in my opinion, is the only one that is not.
Okay.
You've got to probably be, 15, 16, in my opinion, to really kind of, get into all the Deadpool stuff. But, yeah, so that's the couple of movies that we kind of got going on. 2
weeks to go see movies. And
yeah. What are you guys doing over the holiday? You're two of your kids, right? They're
well, we're going to enjoy the holidays. Like we have our family Christmas on the 23rd with my mom and dad and my family. Okay. And so they already had Kylie and Joey, my older two, had it with their dad's side.
Okay.
And so that's our plans, is doing on the 23rd. So actually Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, it's just me and my kids.
Oh,
so it's
that'll
kind of
be
nice. So on Christmas Eve, we always open one gift, and it's always PJs from Mom.
Oh.
So we do like matching PJs.
Oh,
and
so
stuff.
cute.
Yeah.
That's
so
cute.
I'll just take a picture of that. We'll have to do like a photo thing.
That'll be cute.
I'll put it on the channel.
Oh, there
so
we
you guys
go.
can all see.
That'll be cute.
Yeah. So I've been doing that. Oh gosh. Since Derek passed away, so 7 years.
Oh, yeah.
So we did footy pajamas
Oh,
that
that's
year.
cute.
Yeah, and Kylie and I have
We've never done the pajama thing.
Oh, yeah,
That's
you
cute,
should.
though. It's cute.
Do it. It's fun. And you could do like a little family picture if you want.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, so
People-
you're going to update us all on the pajama
Yeah.
lookalikes
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
photo?
So, and I actually think I might have picked out reindeer ones this year. Like
Oh,
just,
God, so
not
cute.
footy pajamas, but
Yeah.
they match. All of us kind of match. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I try to do that every year.
So cute. What was I going to say? Oh, so somebody was saying that I needed to mention that cooking bacon in the oven is the way to go.
Yeah.
So anybody that doesn't know about cooking bacon in the oven,
didn't know
I
about
put it
it.
on a stone, and it turns out really, really nice if anybody's doing a Christmas breakfast or whatever, and you don't want to use up all your burners, or you can pop those in the oven, and those turn out really, really good. The one thing I wanted to get started with today was I guess the Senate is releasing a Russia involvement in the 2016 elections, and it's Trump bias. And I want to talk about the history of our election meddling in the United States, because I think all of this money has been wasted. On this investigation, because most Americans do not realize our own CIA and our own government's meddling and all the different elections around the world. I mean, I think people generally really think like this is a new thing. And it's a really old thing. It's actually been going on since the inception of the CIA, since 1946, I think was the inception of the CIA. And back then, and as time has progressed, it was pamphlets and flyers and banners and just literally suitcases of money being dropped off for people to either persuade, for things to go certain ways. And there's a couple things. So Locke K. Johnson, he's a dean of intelligence scholars, started in 1970 investigating CIA as a staff member of the Senate Church Committee. And he basically says we've been doing this since the inception in 1947. I think I said 1946. And Carnegie Mellon scholar Dov H. Levine has found 81 by the U.S. and 36 by the Soviets between 1946 and 2000. Now, that was 18 years ago, but I can't imagine that we've slowed down. If anything, it's ramped up. And it's always been done, for the most part, covertly, but we've definitely been blatant in some of our election meddling. And one example is in 1996, President Clinton wanted Boris Yeltsin to be president so badly that he actually had his people lobby the International Monetary Fund to give a $10 billion loan to ensure Boris Yeltsin at the time was like in last place.
Okay.
He ended up winning by 13 points.
Wow.
And that was because of that infusion of the $10 billion.
Wow.
And he guaranteed Boris Yeltsin's his win.
Wow.
He wanted him to win. He liked him. He wanted to work with him, and he made sure that it happened.
Yeah,
so that is
to a Clinton.
Well, right, and so that's kind of like one of the more recent, one of the more recent ones that's happened, where you can just kind of put on there. I mean, a Clinton totally bought an election,
Right.
In Russia.
Right.
Yeah. So this is just all.
That's crazy.
This is just all bogus stuff. This has been stuff that's been going on forever.
That's very silent.
It's super silent. And this was
Yeah.
just back in 1996 with Boris Yeltsin. We've done many, many other things to overthrow. And one of the ones that we were blatant about was the Afghanistan one. We did not want that guy. I forget his name. But we did not, after the war, we didn't want him to win again. And so we made sure that it wasn't successful. But it was open, And so I'm just saying, like, all this money that we've spent as a nation to really look into this Russian meddling thing and how Russia favored Trump. Well, who cares?
Right.
Because every single news organization, every newspaper, every university, is pushing this liberal agenda.
Right.
It's not unbiased even within our own educational system, within our own so who cares if Russia was biased? At the end of the day, even with all of our local bias, he still won through the Electoral College. So it's just all really irrelevant, and we've spent, $25 to $30 million on this Russia gate. That is just a big nothing.
That they could use toward the wall.
Well, now we're just kind of going into tax evasion and,
Right.
unpaid parking tickets at this
Right.
point. So it's just turned into just a really, really big joke. But I just felt like, I'm going to mention this because I think people really think like this Russia thing is huge. And I'm not saying it shouldn't be investigated.
Right.
We don't want to understand the sourcing.
Right.
We don't want to understand what's happening. But this has been going on forever. This is nothing new.
They've been blowing it up, though, just because it is, the media right now, left media. I mean, I just posted something today about it all being brainwashing. It's all saying, they're all saying the same thing, all the channels. So, and it's like, what is the truth anymore?
Well, apparently Russia's trying to tell us the truth.
Right. I wish I knew Russian words right now. I don't.
Yeah. Well, who knows? But the point is this is old news. We don't need to spend $25 to $30 million.
No.
And then we've got these tax evaders. Who gives a shit if what's his face, Manafort?
Yeah.
I mean, if we did an audit on everybody that's working in Washington, would anybody still have a job if they didn't lie on their taxes or put some money
in
an
FBI?
offshore, right?
Call me.
Yeah,
Call me.
yeah. Well, and so anyway, so I just wanted to kind of mention the history because I think the history is important. I mean, this is a nothing thing. It's happened. It's historical. It's all documented. And there's people who are scholars and people that actually research this for decades. And we're part of it, as part of the CIA that have retired, that were part of these, programs that actually did it and who have speak about it.
Right.
And I mentioned Clinton because he's obviously still out there. His wife is still out there. And that was a clear-cut case of election meddling to its highest level.
That's awful.
And it was successful. Yeah. And he got what he wanted.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
so how much did Clinton get out of that?
Well, he got the guy elected that he wanted elected. I mean,
Right.
It didn't cost him, I don't think, anything. I don't know. I'm not really
Just
sure
wonder
because
what the payoff was for that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure because they lobbied the International Monetary Fund to give a $10 billion loan. So I'm not really obviously who pays that back. I don't know who pays back that loan for that.
Well, no, I just wonder, did the Clinton Foundation get a big,
I don't know.
lump of sum from them?
Yeah, I don't really know.
So,
but yeah, so
inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, well, I mean, so you just have to research further and deeper. I didn't look into.
No, I just wonder.
Yeah, well, I mean, that $10 billion loan was paid back at some level by somebody at some point. So
Soros.
I can't imagine the Clintons would ever pay out of their own pockets, but maybe through the foundation.
Maybe not.
Anything's possible
Right.
because it's not their money.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's somebody else's. It's your money, my
Right.
money, or
It's
so
all our
whoever their
money.
donations are. Yeah. So anyways, I wanted to talk about that. And then did anybody see the China African American exhibit? Did you see that on Facebook? It has since been pulled. Did you go online and take a peek at that?
Look. So
Okay.
they already pulled it off.
They pulled it because it was a little like is this real? But there was a famous photographer that did this whole exhibit in China where African American people were side by side an animal, orangutans, gorillas, and they were making the same facial expressions and they were being compared to animals.
That's awful.
Right, but when I read a little further into kind of the thought process, people in China, like there was this detergent ad, so they're a little bit racist in China.
Well, yeah.
They just are, and they're kind of blatant about it.
They slave Islam right now too. Yeah.
Well, that's not surprising.
No, but that's ridiculous too.
So in one of the, I watched this commercial, and it's an Asian girl doing a laundry detergent pod, and it's a black guy, and he walks in, and she pops the pod in his mouth, and then like puts him in the wash machine. Well, then he pops out the super cute Asian guy.
Oh my gosh.
So she was, like the washing the dirty. We're washing the dirty with this.
Yeah,
and it was all
racist.
funny and cute. Yeah, right. But they don't care. Right.
Right.
So the photographer did pull this exhibit, not the photographer, but the museum, because they had gotten complaints.
So many complaints.
But one of the things that it said in the article, that in the mind of the artist, the photographer who did this, it is not unusual for Chinese to compare people to animals, and that is true.
That is true.
Their entire astrological chart is based on animals.
Right.
So in his mind, it was like he saw that as a compliment. But the photographs were not overly complimentary. No. I'm talking about the photographs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the photographs of like a guy next to a chimp or whatever. So, anyways, they ended up pulling it or whatever.
Oh, good. I'm glad they did.
Yeah. And so, so there was that. And what did you want to talk about today? What do you guys want to talk about? Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Put it on there so we can.
So I was going through Facebook, and I saw a post that somebody had posted, and it says, "Our generation is so busy trying to prove that women can do everything men can do. Women are losing the unique qualities they set us apart. The God-given femininity and unique way our Creator designed us. Women weren't created to do everything a man can do. Women were created to do everything a man can't do," and that's unknown. "The lioness does not try to be the lion. She embraces her role as a lioness. She is powerful, strong, and nurturing. She does not mistake her meekness for weakness. The world needs more kind, compassionate, humble, faithful, persevering, confident, fierce, bold, pure, and tender-hearted women. Be one of them." I actually agree with this.
I love that.
Yeah, I love it. I really do. But, all right, being a single mom, I am faced with a lot. As a person, I cannot do everything.
Yeah.
But I don't want, like, someone just to come in and be like, "I'll help you," and, like, this hidden agenda behind it, maybe like try to like date me or something.
Yeah, I would think that would be hard being single.
Do you know what I mean?
All those hidden agendas.
Yeah, but really there's actually kind people out there, though, that like my neighbor, he's like, "Oh, I'll do your lawn for you," you know, and stuff like that. There's no hidden agenda there.
Yeah, he's just trying to help
married
you.
And grandchildren and stuff like that. But I don't mind saying I can't do some things, and just recently, like, we actually just recently talked about this a little bit, but some households work better with, the woman is more in charge of the household and stuff like that.
Well, so that's kind of the debate. And I think that's happening in a lot of marriages and a lot of relationships in general. There's this demasculinization, I think, that people feel is happening with men. And I would say historically that's probably accurate.
I think what I'm coming from is all these women.
What is the balance? Oh, no, I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
I think...
I don't mind being feminine. I don't mind asking for help.
But in the house, when you're married or when you're dating somebody, I think it's just... Everybody's got to figure out what their rules are.
Oh, yeah.
Who's in charge of what? But I think for the most part, the women that I know that are with kind of that old school mentality, that have been married to somebody for a really, really long time, and she does everything around the house. She does all the cooking. She does everything with the kids. They kind of get burned out. They're kind of tired of the marriage. And the guy's like, "Oh, my life is great."
Right.
Because absolutely none of her needs are kind of getting met. And, and so, yeah, I think it's, and then you have some households, like a lot of, like mine and a lot of other households where my husband's like, "Yeah, just tell me what needs to get done because I'm kind of busy and I don't really want to think about everything that needs to get done." Now, I've mentioned to you, my husband likes lists. He would prefer a list over listening to my voice remind him over and over and over again. But there's a lot of men that are like, "Do not even attempt to leave me a list."
Do not
because
leave me
I am
this
not a child. I am not a baby. And so there's this whole thing, like what works for each couple and what is offensive to the men, but it's like, well, okay, I can tell you these things, but then you're going to have to remember it.
Right.
So then there's that problem because then you become a nag if you're reminding him.
Right.
But then he doesn't want a list. My husband's fine with the list, but a lot of husbands are not. So, and then there's a lot of things not getting done because they didn't want to list, and they also don't want to be reminded. So it gets to be tricky, you know. I mean, it's really, really hard. A lot of things that need to get done in a household every single day. You know, it would be nice if everybody worked as hard as they can to keep it together, because there's a lot of counterbalances that happen. There's things that a man does that I would never be able to provide for my kids, and there's things that I take care of that my husband was like, what? I didn't even think of that, or, you know, whatever.
Exactly. Well, like my daughter, she wrote me a list this morning.
Yeah.
And she literally put, Mom, I work this day, this day, this day, I have driver's ed this day. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, right. So you know what's going on with her. Right.
So it's kind of nice, you know, that way. But that was, you know, she's 16, getting more responsibility for herself and stuff like that. And
yeah, but the marriage thing is trickier.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean,
you've been married.
I've been married, yeah. But it's been, like, I've been divorced now going on.
But you guys had your lists.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everybody does in every household, whether you're roommates or you're gay, a lesbian couple. I mean, you know, even just roommates living together. I mean, everybody's got to figure out,
chip in and work it out.
But I love with the whole premise of, you know, what you just read was saying. I just think that the execution is complicated and difficult, you know. I mean, who's the disciplinarian in the household?
Well, now me. I'm like,
well, of course you are.
Because I'm
But in the household where there's two people,
right?
And you know, if you have two people who are working, or in my case, my husband works. Yes, he disciplines, but he's gone all the time working. So who is in charge of it? Who's taking care of that?
Right.
Well, if she's taking care of it the majority of the time, and then, you know, he's swooping in and things are changing because he's whatever, you're going to be like, wait a minute, you're never here.
Right.
You know, what is
happening? So
happening?
when he is here, are your weekends a little different than during the week? Or
Oh, no.
They're the same?
No. No. I mean, if my husband hears something blatantly disrespectful or whatever, he'll... Yeah. Some things he chooses to ignore because then he's got to deal with it.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, I think that's happened. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I've been doing this all week. You're just here now. Help me out. You know, and he's like,
just
oh,
give him
God.
a look. Like, you're going to say something?
Yeah, kind of.
You going to say something?
He's like, fine. You know, because it's just a battle.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, he's worked all week in his defense. He doesn't want to do another battle with some teenager over, you know, a smart mouth or whatever. He's like, oh God, here goes another battle.
I just talked to my 3 dogs.
But, you know, he does it. Well, no, I'm just saying, I mean, he does it. But, I mean, sometimes I'm looking at him like, really? Yeah, it's your turn, buddy.
Yeah. I do the big eye roll by myself. And I just
but in an old school household, and my husband would say, when he grew up, the mother would say, you wait till your dad gets home.
Oh, yeah. That happened at our
Now,
house.
sometimes I have said that.
Yeah.
And it has not, and that's a really huge situation.
Right.
But for the most part, back, you know, a couple of decades, you know, 2-3 decades ago, it was wait till your dad gets home. You know, and then
That's
it was
how we
like,
were brought up.
oh my God,
right?
Dad. You know, well, I didn't have a dad, so it didn't, you know, there was nobody telling me that. My mom was, you know, a single mother for a long, long time. So
you relate with my kids?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So now I just say, you know, I really mean it.
Well, I had a crappy stepdad.
Did you?
Yeah,
See,
but
I don't want that for my kids. That
but I have a stepdad now for 30 years who's the most amazing man ever in the history of the universe. So thank God for him.
Yeah.
So you know, you can get a guy that's just an amazing guy that really loves your kids, but he never jumped in and did any disciplining.
Right.
Because I was way too old. I was like 12 or 13.
I mean, I've been disciplining them by myself for a while now. So, you know.
I'm sure it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah. So that, especially
I love the article, but it's super complicated.
All this stuff
where everything has to go to the extreme.
They do. And this is the thing. If it was a true women's march, it should be for all women. Not just liberal and democratic women, because that's what it was for.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right,
and stuff like that.
You know what's been nice? There really hasn't been that many marches.
Well,
the whole entire first year of Trump's presidency was one walk after the next.
There's supposed to be another one though after the New Year.
God.
I know.
Oh my God.
I wonder what they're gonna wear this time.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so so the other fun thing I wanted to talk about before we get into this blackface stuff. Is women's underwear.
Okay.
What do we
I'm
think?
like, okay.
I mean, there might be a couple, there's a couple guys watching. Do we have any thoughts on ladies' underwear?
Well, such as what kind of
Yeah,
underwear?
like what kind of underwear? Like I'm surprised.
Well, I don't like lines, so I like thongs.
Yeah, okay, so do I.
Okay.
But there's a lot of ladies wearing regular kind of granny panties still. I'm thinking, God, we're kind of a little, you know.
Maybe they're just going for the comfort. No one's going to see.
Yeah, but the thongs are very comfortable.
I think so. And if they're not, then they're too tight.
But do you think it's because most women feel like they don't look good in a thong? Or is it really a comfort thing? Because a thong doesn't, it feels great. It feels fine. It feels like nothing.
Yeah, especially cotton ones.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So what do you think? Why are people...
I don't know. We will have to take a poll.
You think women are really going to
Maybe.
say whatever? Yeah, I don't know. Because I notice out here in the cornfields, there's a lot of, regular...
I like thongs. I usually only wear thongs.
But I kind of wonder if it's a comfort thing or if it's a
like
self-conscious
seeing
thing.
lines.
I don't either.
That's why.
Yeah, but is it a comfort thing or is it a self-conscious thing or is it a combination?
Well, this is the thing, too. When you're getting ready, dressed up and things like that. Now, I wear different kind of
Dressed
thongs.
up in my sweats?
Yeah. Yes. So today probably would be light blue, maybe, I'm guessing.
Okay. A light blue day?
A light blue day.
Okay.
You're just I don't know, gray, light blue, whatever. Everyday cotton thong.
Right.
Am I kind of right?
Striped. Today is striped. Yeah.
Gray?
Yeah, gray. Yeah. Gray and blue.
Shut up.
No, look.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm not showing everybody else, but I'll show you.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, but if I go out, I'll wear a black thong. I'm all red.
I know you are. Look at that, embarrass you. I love it.
No, but
you match your outfit.
What? I don't know if I match today. Are we showing each other underwear?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully you have some on. Oh wait, that's your pubic hair.
Black. Yeah.
Just kidding.
I don't have any.
Oh, really? Oh, that's too
that's
funny.
Another talk.
Oh, that's another chat.
All right, no, they're black.
No, they're pretty,
they're just
comfortable.
Black. Yeah, but I usually match my tops.
Oh,
you kind of did too.
Today, but mine was unintentional.
I know, but
I just threw on whatever.
I'm just saying, dates or whatever. I'm
to look pretty.
I mean, these are my cotton ones, daytime. But I'll wear lacy ones. If I don't know why. It just makes you feel
prettier,
good, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So anyway, I can't understand, the whole, what is it? Because I think men would prefer a thong or the cheekies. Mm-hmm. Some girls wear those little cute...
Those boy shorts.
The boy shorts and the
love
cheekies
those.
are cute.
Like a tank top and boy shorts to go to bed. I love it.
Yeah, so that's cute.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just was kind of wondering, because I have some girlfriends that and people I just see, you notice the lines.
Almost have to... They might actually open up and say, well, I don't like thongs because they ride up between...
Yeah, but they really don't.
They don't.
So they've not tried them.
Or they're too tight.
So I have one girlfriend that her panty lines were driving me crazy. And I bought her some cheekies. Okay. I'm like, you need to try these because she was afraid they were going to be uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
Now she loves them.
Oh.
And so her husband is like,
thank you.
Yeah. But so I'm like, well, that's what made me think about, this whole underwear conversation, because I'm like, yeah, I just wonder, is it women not wanting to try them because they're looking for comfort and they don't realize they're actually quite comfortable? Right.
And then
or
also bras
do they feel like I've got a big ass and I don't want my husband?
But granny panties are going to make your ass look even bigger, I feel.
No, they do.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that most guys, especially if you're married, they don't give a shit. Go ahead and throw that thong on, whether that's fat, cheesy butter. Ass or whatever. They don't care. If it's theirs, they're good.
Or the cheeky ones.
Or whatever, cheeky, just something cute and more feminine.
Yeah.
Whatever, right. It doesn't have to be a thong.
So we're on the same page as that.
Yeah. So anyway, so I just thought, that just happened a few weeks ago with my girlfriend. And so I'm like, I just kind of wonder. So maybe during the watch party... when some more people are watching or whatever, maybe some of the ladies will chime in and they'll kind of say why. Maybe some of the men that are watching right now would say what they prefer.
Get your woman some thongs.
Or cheekies.
Or cheekies. I like the Victoria's Secret, the cotton ones. This one I had on, Victoria's Secret. They're so comfortable.
Okay.
I do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
it would be nice to get a little feedback on this because I think we as women really kind of want to understand. And then I want women to really... understand that if you have a big fat cheesy ass, that whoever dates you or whoever you're married to, they don't care.
No,
they really don't. They would prefer to let it all hang out in the cheeky or the thong as opposed to the granny panty.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought I would throw that because I don't know if women really totally understand that. You know, that they would be feeling prettier underneath their clothes, and also, you know, whoever they're with would prefer to see them,
right,
and whatever. Now, if you happen to be married to somebody that's not very nice and verbally abusive, you know, then and makes them feel very self-conscious,
well,
then you deserve the granny panty.
Well,
because
no, there's relationships out there where they're just like, they could be down, they could be, you know, something going on, and maybe they aren't being sexual with their husbands or something.
Okay, and that's different too. Yeah.
So,
but I'm just saying in a regular
but do
situation.
yourself a favor. Feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
So if you look sexy for yourself,
you're gonna feel prettier.
Yes.
That's kind of like having your toenails painted.
Yes. And nails.
No, my nails are never painted because they're chipping, and then the chipping bothers me. And I don't get my nails done.
Your nails are nice.
I just natural and clean. I just want everything to look clean.
Right.
But the pedicure lasts a long time.
They do.
So if you don't want to spend a lot of money, or if you can do it at home, I do mine at home. I don't have my pedicures done. I never really have.
Okay.
It
you could do mine.
No, I'm good. I'm good. But
you're like, feet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my own feet are pretty, or my daughter's. I would do hers, but that's about it. No, I know you are. I know you are.
No, but I got the, what is that stone? That
the pumice?
Yeah, it's a pumice stone, but it rolls. Have you seen that?
No.
Shush.
I don't think I have
It's
seen
electric, and it just keeps rolling.
Oh.
And you've not seen that?
I use the Mario Tricocci or the
the
Zano's paddle. No, the
Oh.
Zano's a long time ago sold a paddle.
Okay.
But anyway, so, you know, women need to do their feet. Women need to do their feet.
You have to, because if you're wearing heels and you got dry heels. And I use the Mario Tricocci heel cream, actually.
Go ahead and, no, you know what? I don't know. Yeah,
I
don't know what she's doing.
Oh,
Kelly's going to talk to you a second.
So, hi everyone. We're checking on the dogs here. We hear a little bit of noises from the dog. So now I can change my hat. Anyway, so tell us what you guys do for your nails, and we were just talking about thongs, so you guys missed that. You can play it on the playback. We're going to do a watch party right after this.
I'm sorry, my little Yorkie was acting crazy.
Oh, did you let her in?
No, are you kidding me? She just come over here and act more crazy. So the other thing I wanted to talk about today is that Prada bag.
Oh, yes.
With the blackface. So I looked into that, and Prada has since removed all of their...
The advertisements for it?
The advertisements, they had a I'm going to show you guys this picture.
Yeah.
They had a black-faced little guy, and it was for their Prada Malia toy, is what it's called. Prada Malia. They have a whole Prada Malia line. They have a whole Prada Malia line, and they incorporated this little blackface, which nobody in the company realized was a blackface. And it's just really, really strange to me.
So it wasn't a blackface. It was actually a little monkey.
Right.
So they can't really call it a blackface.
No. So here's what it looks like right here.
Go up higher.
There we go.
Go up
that
higher.
Looks like blackface
Go up higher.
to most.
There you go.
That looks like blackface to most people.
Really? Let's see.
Yeah.
To me, I'm just saying, it looks like a little toy, like McDonald's little toy.
It does, but it looks like it's part of the blackface. When I saw it immediately, I thought about blackface.
Well, I think they're just trying to get attention to be,
No, I'll show you. This was the whole blackface movement back in the 1800s. Look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, see, so there it is.
I know, but why would they do that? That's ridiculous.
The minstrel.
Okay.
So here's kind of blackface if you're not familiar with it. Okay.
I didn't know exactly what they were meaning by that, to be honest with
you.
I never looked it up.
Right. No. So the whole history. So let me just tell you what Prada did. So Prada came out and they basically said we would never do that intentionally. Mm-hmm. I mean, blackface is part of our history.
Yeah.
And so it's a little hard to believe that somebody has got to be really, really stupid over at Prada to not really understand that this whole blackface thing, has been going on. Well, it hasn't been going on, but it was very, very popular up until the Civil War, and then it kind of started to cease to exist. But it was going on, I think, from the 1850s or 1860s. It was huge. And so it was started in the 1830s by Thomas Dartmouth Rice.
Okay.
And minstrel performances demean black people, and they also allowed whites to admire translated forms of American African American music, dance, and also provided economic empowerment to African Americans, because some African Americans did it where they could make fun of themselves.
Okay.
And some of their own things culturally and all that kind of stuff. But it, it was very, historically, well, it just is very strange that nobody would really realize that caricature,
right?
Really, people would look at that. The Uncle Tom, all of that was during these minstrels performances.
But they come out with that now. I mean, it's this charm that hangs from a purse.
But they also, I think, had a T-shirt, and then they did this whole window display with all of those animals. And
I'm kind of glad they took it off. Because
it needed to get pulled.
We don't need more division.
No, and they came out with a statement, and they just basically said that we didn't have any idea that it would create such nothing was done intentionally. But I'm like, how can you look at that,
right,
and not kind of think right off the bat blackface?
Yeah,
I just don't even understand.
Were they also selling a new purse too? Was that black purse? That was just the charm.
That was like a charm.
Okay.
Yeah, for the Prada Malia line.
That's
the whole line.
Well, I hope
with all of these
they discontinued it, because
no, they're not going to discontinue the line, because there's a lot of
not
other
the line.
Yeah,
that image.
Yeah, right. But I was just really confused by that.
Shame on them.
I know,
honestly.
It was really, because I love Prada.
Yeah,
their sunglasses I love. I mean, they've got some really pretty great stuff, and
the bag was really nice.
Yeah, it was very simple. Yeah, very simple black
nice.
bag, and so that was really nice. But I was just thinking, so I looked a little further into that blackface history, and I can really get,
I can understand why they pulled it. So I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
And then the division and all this can stop, because I did read some of the comments, and people were very hurt by it. It's very
different than what we were talking about at Halloween.
Yes.
With the Indians and the cowboys and all of that kind of stuff. I mean,
it is.
To dress up as a blackface is like dressing up as Hitler.
Right.
There's just some of those things that we don't even need to talk about.
No.
It's just not something that you do. It's totally inappropriate.
I mean, I want to know why they would do it, but I'm glad it's done. I'm glad it's not out there. I really am.
Yeah,
because
well, it's still, it is out there
now.
every once in a while. And Canada, I guess, has a few issues with some of this stuff kind of going on. But, I was kind of thinking, so, and maybe some people that watch that are African American, I know African Americans, of course, are against blackface.
Okay, yeah.
But historically, people don't understand what
it truly is.
It truly is.
I really didn't look it up, so I have to.
I think it's different. Like, all things go back to my Washington, D.C. trip. And so when I was there, we did an enslaved tour.
Oh, nice.
On George Washington's property at Mount Vernon.
Okay.
And it was one of the most amazing experiences. But I have to say, it felt different. We were with all black people.
Oh.
And it felt different. Like, you felt more pain in it. And basically, she was saying, like the guide was saying, out of the millions of people that, or hundreds of thousands of people that go to Mount Vernon every year, only like 5% pay extra for the enslaved tour.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like an extra $15-20 a person, but then you have a whole guided private tour where she takes you into the cemetery.
Why wouldn't you want to know the whole history?
Well, the majority, well, they touch on the slave stuff, definitely on the general tour. But I just kind of wonder with the blackface, if there was really a show, if they did the minstrel shows, the performances that they did back then, if people would really get it, why it's so offensive. Like if it was at the Paramount Theater,
right,
and you had to buy tickets,
right,
but it was done historically, kind of like Hamilton or whatever.
Yeah.
There could be like a whole blackface tour where there was historical, like it could be a whole movement.
Yeah,
I think it would be really, really great. So you could really understand it, right?
Yeah, maybe somebody will do that. You never know.
Yeah, and I can. Yeah, I mean, didn't I have a great idea?
Yeah, you did. And I'm gonna say that was Rachel's idea.
That was my idea. Yeah. And if anybody does it, I feel like I should get a percentage of it. Yeah.
Call Joy Behar.
I would love to.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I would love to see a show like that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, people just want to erase the pain of the past and the history.
No, but you don't want to erase it. I understand there was a lot of that before, But to bring it up today all the time, I understand in the past history, but like racism today and
is different.
Like that, oh my gosh.
I'm going to tell you, African Americans that were on plantations and that were slaves were hardcore family. I'm not saying that they aren't now, but the broken families that are in the inner cities and the amount of incarcerations that happen, I think there's a lot of broken families in all races, but it seems to be very heavily weighted in the African American culture. And it was not back then. It was and that's all you had.
Yeah.
Were your kids and what little family you had. And I know on Mount Vernon, they did everything to keep the slaves together in the family units. And people didn't leave. It kept you from your slaves leaving. If you could provide a healthy, safe, everybody's getting food type situation, the slaves wouldn't run away. Because they wouldn't leave their families.
Right.
They just wanted to be with their families. And so I think we've, culturally, all of us have gotten away, not just African Americans, but everybody has gotten away from that mentality.
Mentality of family.
Tradition and sticking through it. Values. Yeah. And sticking through it. And so that article that you read in this whole feminist movement, I think is interesting because a lot is changing and a lot has changed.
But it's also
and
based
we
on
are
your decisions.
It is, and we are also a throwaway society.
Yeah, we are.
So if you do something that irritates me enough, I will just dump you and go
block
on to the next.
And say bye.
Right. But yeah, so anyways, I just think if somebody would do a blackface, because really it was, at the time, it was supposed to be comedic, an over-exaggeration of behavior, music, poetry, different traditions within the African American.
Whites and blacks did that as entertainment.
But whites were doing it to make fun of, and they enjoyed watching black faces make fun of themselves. So it was always this superiority type situation. But then somebody else had written that there was, that some of whites that were lower middle class, there was a relatability with African Americans to a certain extent because they were also very poor. They were free. They were free, which the blacks weren't, but they were poor. You know what I mean? So I think poor people can really relate to other poor people, regardless of what race you are.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people can relate to other people just by opening up and telling your story.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter your money or anything. So I'm all for, relating with other people.
So I just wanted to touch on one other thing that's very personal to me that I found out this last week. And anybody that's watching that has any issues with drugs or alcohol, coming into the holidays, I found out a family member of mine she had a really, really tough life. And she and I haven't talked in probably 7 years. But we were very, very close at growing up, and I loved her to death. I loved her kids to death. I, did anything I could for her. And she did really, really good for a long time, but I just found out last week that she is a meth addict and prostituting. Yeah. So
how do you get, that's going to be hard to get
She left all of her kids. Yeah. So the one child that I was very, very attached to is having a lot of problems at school.
How old is the child?
17. Yeah. So she was always a straight A student, and now I guess is really, really struggling. So anybody out there that has these broken family issues and is struggling yourself, have friends that are going through this. It just really passes down from one generation to the next if you let it.
Right.
And she, unfortunately, even going through rehab multiple times, she always knew. Because I would nag her to death to try to keep her on the straight and narrow and try to keep it together. She's had
addictions are hard. They really are.
Addictions are hard, but she broke them quite a few times, and like a decade. Right. And then just lost it all, and now it's like on a whole path of, I think people are just waiting for the call to when she's going to be dead. She has none of her kids now. Yeah. She went from doing everything with her kids to having none of her kids, and just a total meth addict, and I guess she's prostituting to pay for the habit. And
it's a spiral that if you're down, if you're addicted to something, you're on this spiral that sometimes you don't know the way out, you know?
Yeah.
And that happened with my ex-husband.
Yeah, well, she was a coke addict when she was young, and then went to rehab multiple times. And so she knows the drill. I mean, she knows the drill. I mean, you know, and so that's what it is. It's like, at what age, when you know the drill and you've done it all, and you've talked to all the counseling, you've talked to all the therapists. I mean, I always go back to Robert Downey Jr. because he had a huge problem. And how many times was he in rehab? Like 15, 20, 30 times, you know? And then he finally just said, I'm done.
Right.
And made the decision to be done forever. And, you know, it's very heavily weighted in both sides of my family, drug addiction and alcoholism. And it just really, really broke my heart to hear this, because she was such a good mother. And so anybody that's watching, if you guys have any addiction in your family, or you yourself have addiction issues, I mean, really try to make the decision to just stop. I know that's easier said than done, but do whatever you can to just stop, because, I mean, we're just passing this on from one generation to the next.
And you're not alone. That's another thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going through a lot right now during the holidays. All of us, even individually, even with you, with your family member, you know, and stuff like that.
But it's always, you know, for me, my mother kept us her and I kept, you know, isolated from some of the stuff. And, you know, so but it was a decision. It's always a decision. And, you know, I mean, that's the part that is hard. I mean, we kind of touched on this last week for a second. And then all of a sudden I get this call that was it was just kind of weird.
Right.
That we literally just talked about this, and then
But nobody's lives are perfect. We've said this before. So what is perfect? Well, perfect is what, you know, you being healthy, you being happy with your decisions.
Yeah.
So you have to own your decisions, and you can change. Like, today could be the new start to your forever, you know?
Yeah.
And you don't have to wait till the 1st of January.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you have to
only
do
to
what's
diet.
right.
You only have to wait to diet till January 2nd.
No.
Back to the gym and diet January 2nd.
Just because she ate so many Cinnabons.
4 Cinnabons I ate today. Today,
I don't
4.
like those.
Well,
They're
first
just
of all,
like,
mine,
ugh.
okay, the ones that you get in bulk, they're little.
It
They're not
matter.
the really,
Just
God,
the
they're so
thought
good.
of it,
I've eaten
it
nothing
just-
else today besides 4 Cinnabons.
It makes me ill. Like,
God.
see, but then I can eat like 3 tacos. So,
Yeah, well, I could do that
tacos,
too.
Cinnabons.
Anyway, so thank you for joining us today. And if you could share the page, like the
Definitely.
page, that would
That'd
be really great.
If you share the page, then, you know, maybe we'll get a few more followers too, which would be nice.
Yeah.
You know.
Or not, whatever.
Yeah, or
you
don't,
know.
or don't
we
do
would
it.
prefer, we like the interaction. You know, I mean, we've said this before. We want it to grow. We want to be involved with people. We're going to do on location stuff sometimes.
We are.
If anybody has any on location ideas, that would be fun. I know we're supposed to go to a coffee shop of a friend of ours who owns a coffee shop.
Anyone have like a Ferrari?
On location in the Ferrari.
On location? Yeah.
All right.
Let's go there.
Yeah, let's do that. So if
We
you
won't
guys
drive it. We'll
if
just sit.
You guys have a Merry Christmas
Yeah.
or a Happy Holiday, whatever you're celebrating. And we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you next time.
Absolutely.
So the Thursday after Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great day.